Today we are going to see about 11th living word. In that we are going to see about life process in bacteria. So here we are going to study about respiration. Respiration is of two types. One is aerobic respiration, another one is anaerobic respiration. So respiration is of two types. One is aerobic and another one is anaerobic. Aerobic respiration means the respiration which is taking place in the presence of oxygen is called as aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration means it takes place in the absence of oxygen. It is called as anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. These bacteria require oxygen as a terminal acceptor. They need oxygen as a terminal acceptor and will not grow under anaerobic condition, that is in the absence of oxygen. Okay ma, once again, aerobic respiration, okay ma, require oxygen as a terminal acceptor and will not grow under anaerobic condition. Okay ma, example for this aerobic respiration is streptococcus. Example for aerobic respiration is streptococcus bacteria. Some species of this bacteria are obligate aerobes. Obligate. Obligate means they must have oxygen for their survival. Okay, ma? So obligate aerobes means obligate aerobes must have oxygen to survive. So only it is called as obligate aerobes. Example for this obligate aerobes are micrococcus. Example for obligate aerobe is micrococcus. Anaerobic respiration. These bacteria do not use oxygen for their growth and metabolism, but obtain energy from fermentation reaction. Okay, ma? They will obtain energy from fermentation reaction. Once again, anaerobic respiration. In this, the bacteria do not use oxygen for their growth and metabolism, but they obtain their energy from fermentation reaction. Example is Clostridium. Example is Clostridium. Example is Clostridium. Facultative bacteria. Here, this bacteria can grow either using oxygen as a terminal electron acceptor or anaerobically using fermentation reaction to obtain energy. When a facultative anaerobes such as E. coli, that is Escherichia coli, is present at the site of infections like an abdominal abscesses. Okay, when it is seen in the abdominal, it can rapidly consume all the available oxygen and change to anaerobic metabolism, producing an anaerobic environment, and thus allow the anaerobic bacteria that are present to grow and cause diseases. Example is Escherichia coli and Salmonella. Once again, the bacteria can grow either using oxygen as a terminal acceptor or anaerobically using fermentation reaction to obtain energy. When a facultative anaerobes such as E. coli, it is seen in the infections like abdominal abscesses, it can rapidly consume all the available oxygen and change to anaerobic metabolisms, producing an anaerobic environment and thus allow the anaerobic bacteria that are present to grow and cause diseases. Example, E. coli. Capnophilic bacteria. Bacteria which require CO2 for their growth are called capnophilic bacteria. Example, Campylobacter. On the basis of mode of nutrition, bacteria are classified into two types. They are autotrophic bacteria and another one is heterotrophic bacteria. So based on the nutrition, it is divided into autotrophic and heterotrophic bacteria. And autotrophic bacteria is further classified into photoautotropic and this is again classified into photolithotrophs and photoorganotrophs. Hemoautotrophs is divided into hemolithotrophs and hemoorganotrophs. Once again, based on the nutrition, here it is divided into autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophic bacteria is again classified into two types. One is photoautotropic, another one is hemoautotropic. Photoautotropic is again divided into two types. One is photolithotrophs, another one is photoorganotrophs. Here the hemotrophs is again divided into two types. One is hemolithotrophs, another one is hemoorganotrophs. First, we are going to study about the autotrophic bacteria. Bacteria which can synthesize their own food, which can prepare their own food are called autotrophic bacteria. This can be further divided as photoautotropic bacteria. Bacteria which use their sunlight as their source of energy to synthesize food. Photolithotrophs. In photolithotrophs, the hydrogen donor is an inorganic substance. Here, in photolithotrophs, the hydrogen donor is an inorganic substance. Here, this photolithotrophs is again divided into two types. One is green sulfur bacteria. Another one is purple sulfur bacteria. Okay, photolithotrophs is again divided into green sulfur bacteria and purple sulfur bacteria. Green sulfur bacteria, in this type, the hydrogen donor is H2S and possess a pigment called bacterioviridin. So it will have a pigment, called bacterioviridin. Example is chlorobium. So here in the green sulfur bacteria, that is in this type, the hydrogen donor is H2S, hydrogen sulfide, and it will possess a pigment called bacterioviridin. So this green sulfur bacteria, they will have a pigment called bacterioviridin. Example for this is chlorobium. Purple sulfur bacteria. Here, this bacteria will get the hydrogen donor. The hydrogen donor for this purple sulfur bacteria is thiosulfate. Thiosulfate. And it will have a pigment called bacteriochlorophyll. So the chlorophyll contains chromosomes are present. Chlorophyll containing chromosomes are present. Examples are chromatium. In purple sulfur bacteria, the hydrogen donor is thiosulfate and it will have a pigment called bacteriochlorophyll. And example for this is chromatium. Hemoautotropic bacteria. They do not have photosynthetic pigments. Hence, they cannot use the sunlight energy. So this type of bacteria obtain the energy from organic or from inorganic substance. Once again, hemoautotropic bacteria, They do not have photosynthetic pigments. Hence, they cannot use the sunlight as an energy. So this type of bacteria obtain energy from organic or inorganic substance. Hemolithotrophs. This type of bacteria oxidize inorganic compounds to release energy. Hemolithotrophs. And this type of bacteria will oxidize, they will burn out inorganic compounds to release the energy. Example, sulfur bacteria, Thiobacillus thiooxidans. Hemoorganotrophs. This type of bacteria will oxidize organic compounds to release their energy. Okay, ma? Hemoautotrophs. Okay, ma? Hemoautotrophs. This bacteria will oxidize organic subcompounds to release their energy. They will oxidize. They will burn out the organic compounds to release the energy. Example is methane bacteria. Example for that is Methanococcus. Heterotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria means they depend upon others. Heterotrophic means they depend upon others for food. Here, if it is a parasite, example for parasite is a mycobacterium. Parasite. Parasite means they depend upon other living organism. They depend upon other living organism for their food. So, example for parasite is mycobacterium. If it is a saprophytes, saprophytes means they depend upon dead and decaying organism. Example for saprophyte is Bacillus mycoides. Bacillus mycoides. And if it is a symbiotic, example for symbiotic is Rhizobium. Symbiotic means mutual helping each other. Okay, ma? Helping each other. Okay, ma? They will be attached. This bacteria will be attached to the roots of the leguminous plant, and the bacteria will helps in the fixation of nitrogen, and they will fix the atmospheric nitrogen to the roots of the leguminous plant, and the leguminous plant will supply the food to the bacteria. So they are mutually helping each other. Such a relationship is called as symbiotic association. Here, example for symbiotic is Rhizobium. Here, the Rhizobium is mostly seen in the leguminous plant, that is root nodules of the legumes.